Hi, it's Martin Griffiths, co-founder of Metis Automation, helping manufacturers to visualize and control their manufacturing processes. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how to improve your machine productivity. So I spent the first 10 years of my career as a manufacturing engineer and manufacturing manager in automotive companies. And then since starting Metis Automation, we've done over 100 projects now helping manufacturers to improve their production processes. So in this video, I want to take some of those lessons and apply it to how you can use some simple strategies to improve your machine productivity. So number one is look for the bottlenecks. So there was an amazing business manufacturing related book about the theory of constraints called The Goal by Goldratt, written in the late 80s. And it's kind of written in the form of a fable, and there's this guy who's a manufacturing manager having big problems with low productivity, and he's also the leader of the scout troop, and he takes the scout troop out on a hike one Sunday afternoon, and the fastest kids of the troop are at the front of the line, the slowest guys at the back. And he's standing there at the back of the line looking at his scout troop stretched out over like a mile over a couple of hills, and he's thinking of ways to that he needs to stop that and bring them all back together. So he has an idea, rather than the fastest guys at the front who are always getting further and further ahead, why not put the slowest guy at the front of the line, and he then sets the pace for the entire scout troop. Then something amazing happened. The people behind him wanted to go faster, so they looked at ways, how can we take stuff out of his backpack so that he can go faster, and if he goes faster, we all go faster, kind of at the same pace to where we're going to. So that's basically the theory for looking for bottlenecks in your factory. If you've got a process that's at full capacity and can't go any faster, there's no point at all spreading your focus around and speeding up other areas of the factory that aren't the bottleneck, because they'll get faster and faster, but they'll have nothing to do because you've got an area of the factory that's a bottleneck that can't keep up with it. So 100% of your effort should be based on, number one, finding the bottlenecks, so looking for areas where there's excess work in progress, looking at places where there's excess downtime, or an interesting one where people have got weird workarounds outside of the process to kind of overcome some of these bottlenecks. Those are the key signs. Once you've done that, number two in the steps to improving machine productivity is to try to reduce the workload of those bottleneck assets. So in exactly the same principle of the goal story, look for ways to take stuff out of the backpack. So if you've got a machine at the moment, say it's a CNC machine, it's a bottleneck, you've identified it as a bottleneck in your process, look to see, what are the really, really core things that only this machine can do, and anything extra, just make sure you take it away from that area of your process. So, if you've got any deburring, if you've got any cleaning processes mixed in there that it's doing at the moment, just take that out. Get someone to manually do that afterwards, buy another cheaper machine to do that before it goes in. Just get those out of that bottleneck area as soon as you possibly can, and you might be able to free up an extra 10-20% of that machine's availability for doing the core function that only that asset and only that machine can do. Just get it to focus on those key things. Number three would be to look at machine upgrades. So once you've done that, once you've identified your bottleneck, you've reduced its workload, so it's only doing essential stuff, what can you do to improve its efficiency even more? Now even machines that are like 2-3 years old, sometimes the rate of change in technology sometimes is much more efficient motors, much more efficient methods of cooling, lubrication. There might be some simple upgrades available from the machine manufacturer to give it an extra 5 or 10% worth of efficiency, and that could be, if that's a kind of a bottlenecked area for you, that could mean an extra 10-20% output of your product. So speak to your service engineers for your key machines and see what upgrades are available and what they could give you. Number 4, if there aren't upgrades available, look at, if it's that bottlenecked area, look at increasing capacity. If you bought an extra one of those machines, what would that let you do? Would that let you double your output? If it's a bottlenecked area, it should give you a big impact. If you double it, it's probably not going to be the bottleneck anymore, and somewhere else further down the line will become the constraint. So just before going down that route, just kind of try to get an understanding of what will be the next constraint and the next bottleneck, on what actions you can take and what that'll cost to get the throughput that you need all along your production line. So 4 suggestions for improving your machine productivity. Number 1, identify what the bottlenecks are in your factory. Number 2, look at ways to reduce the workload from those critical path assets. Number 3, speak to your supplier about any upgrades. And then number 4, look at increasing the capacity. So those are the suggestions that we've got. Hope you found that useful. If you like the video, click like and subscribe below, and then let me know in the comments which one of these suggestions you think is most impactful for you, or if you've got any other suggestions of things you've done to improve your machine productivity. I'd love to hear those as well. Thanks a lot for listening, and see you next time.